show you my toys.
Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing you another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Soap Studios 112 action figure League of Shadows gear set. This comes with Bruce Wayne and Ras al Ghul. Bruce Wayne seems to be in his League of Shadows training outfit when he was with Ras al Ghul on the ice in Batman Begins. Ras al Ghul seems to be in his Ninja League of Shadows outfit. For this review, I have purchased both the regular 2-pack as well as the special edition 2-pack. Now, in addition to that, I've gotten 2 sets of both, so I've got a total of 4 of these guys. These 2 are one of each of the 2 different versions of the sets. They're going to stay in my unopened, complete 6-7 inch Batman collection, but then I also got one of each to open. These very specifically in the title say 112 action figure, and these are cloth good figures. To me, this is sort of everybody's answer to Mezco's 112, very successful and popular and expensive line. Other companies are going to try to get on this stuff now. Soap Studios, I've never bought a figure from them, but I understand there's an Arrow and a Flash that they've made that look really good already. I understand these size up pretty nicely next to Mezco. My understanding is years ago they made a 112 tumbler from Batman Begins, and boy, that thing is crazy expensive in the aftermarket. I would love to get one, maybe one day. So let's check out the packaging real quick. DC, got Bruce Wayne, got Ra's on the other side. Bruce Wayne and Ras al Ghul 112 action figure League of Shadows gear set, implying there's going to be a lot of gear. Soap Studios, kind of amazing they're still making figures from Dark Knight and Batman Begins. So on the side we've got Dark Knight Trilogy logo. On the back, now this is something that, you know, lots of pictures of the figures in movie type situations. Now it shows what they come with. We've got 27 points of articulation, realistic cloth fabric, 1 piece of armor, 2 swords, hands option A, relaxed 2 pair, hands option B, fist 2 pair, holding hands option C, 2 pair, and 2 display stands. Now on the back of the special edition set gives you a content list, and it is absolutely identical, so I'm kind of like, what the heck? What did you pay extra for in this? I'm really curious to find out when it gets opened. My understanding was this is going to have a little bit more stuff in that. I don't want just a card or something like that. That'll really be annoying. So anyway, let's go ahead and check this bad boy out here in just a sec. So the bottom, of course, nothing important. Not even a barcode on this guy. And the top, nice little Batman logo. Surprised they would start off by making these 2 figures. I believe we've seen a couple of upcoming figures from them. Most notably a Bruce Wayne and a Nurse Joker. Those were kind of unique figures they haven't really made too many of before. Didn't pay too much attention to what else they've shown. I would assume there's going to be a Ledger Joker, etc., etc. So, really curious to check these guys out and see what all the fuss is about. They look really nice so far. So as I'm continuing to get these open, on the left side here is the regular version, on the right side here is the special edition version. As I take the plastic cover off, I notice this one here says special edition, space for special edition parts. Please visit soapstudios.com for details. So both packages are designed to hold all the extra accessories, kind of a tease to show you that there's a better version out there if you're interested. So I noticed the accessories that are different, just so you know, are absent are 2 pieces here. It looks like an additional sword that's silver. They come with a silver and a black sword. On the back of the regular packaging, it appears that Bruce Wayne uses the silver sword and Ras al Ghul uses the black sword. I'm not sure if that's movie accurate. One assumes it is. I guess that once Bruce Wayne graduates from Ras al Ghul school, or League of Shadows camp, whatever you want to call it, he would get a black sword. I don't know. This one does come with an extra black sword, so I guess you could have each of them having that And it also comes with, this is the coolest part and kind of disappointing for the regular version, Special Edition only comes with this masked ninja head. So if you want to complete the entire League of Shadows gear, you need to get the Special Edition. I believe these heads will be interchangeable. Of course, we'll find that out shortly. But I wanted to be able to do a complete ninja outfit with Ras al Ghul's head and a complete Ras al Ghul outfit with Bruce Wayne head by having both these versions. Unfortunately, I will not be able to do that as I'm only going to have one of these heads. Alright, let's keep going. So here are the two different figure sets out of the package with their accessories in their entirety. We will obviously get a much closer look at each one of their accessories, but just to check out the entire packages laid out full spread below. Here are the additional accessories that came with the deluxe pack. That is it for the extra money. Kind of surprising. One thing I did find odd was these figures each came with some plastic between the head and the clothes, which is fine. You have to remove the head and take the plastic out, and plastic around the arms. The basic ones had plastic around their hands. The Special Edition did not. I just found that a little bit odd that the Special Edition had slightly less protection. Not that I believe that was necessary to include to begin with, but just found that an odd observation. Then just a quick glance at their accessories before we look at them in more detail. That came with an instruction booklet of how to use the figure, 6 different pairs of hands for Bruce Wayne and for Ras al Ghul, 2 which are completely open, 2 which are able to hold something, and 2 which are fisted. Came with the armor. It goes on top of the ninja suit, which just I think is going to look really cool. Then they came with 3 swords, really just 2 swords, 1 silver, 1 black, as well as a handle. The handle fits into the sheath here. It is a non-functioning sheath, which is very annoying as far as I'm concerned. 2 pretty nice display stands with their names on it. And then, of course, the bonus accessories, which is another sword and the ninja masked head. Of course, the non-deluxe version came with the exact same stuff, minus the extra sword and ninja mask. I decided on a change of venue for the rest of this video. Some background pieces that I thought would be appropriate for Ras al Ghul in the Nolan Versus sort of main base. After this scene, I'm going to concentrate on just one set of the figures because they're pretty much identical, and it will be the Special Edition set with the extra accessories. Just one last look at everything together. Well, like I promised before, a closer look at their accessories. Their display stands each have their name on them. This one is Ras al Ghul, Batman Begins logo. It actually says Dark Knight, so it's Dark Knight Trilogy action figure set. Can grip the figure and hold him in place. He can kind of be upright doing a kick or something in the air, but he can't be held too high up. Say you put him in here doing a kick, he's really this far off the ground at the most. He can have his legs up and everything, but he can't really be sort of flying up in the air and doing some crazy poses. Stand's okay. I'm not a stand guy, so this person is just going to go into a fodder pile and be discarded for pretty much forever. But a nice stand if you're into those sort of things. Next we got his hands. I decided on both the figures to take these semi-open hands so they can hold their swords, and they kind of double up as a fist at the same time. Both the figures I chose those hands with, and as said before, both figures come with open hands. Ras al Ghul's are with black gloves. Bruce Wayne's are with brown gloves, exact same sculpt. And then they also have fisted hands. Once again, black for Ras al Ghul, brown for Bruce Wayne, and exact same sculpt. Next, let's look at their 3 swords. There's actually a little handle here that goes to his non-functioning holster, which is, not the end of the world, his sheath. I'll go ahead and pop that in there for now and leave that in there moving forward. Looks pretty nice. So we've got the black sword here. That is the one that Ras al Ghul is pictured using on the box. Pretty decent looking. Then we've got a silver one, exact same sculpt, exact same size, that Bruce Wayne was using in the package. And then we've got this one that is black but silver tipped. And it is a different sculpt, and it's a little bit smaller. I'd be lying if I knew the relevance. It has a kind of a dip in here as well, so it's a little bit different. Then we've got his armor, sort of hard plastic that's going to go on top of the soft cloth goods. It's got a sheath in the back. Looks really nice. Can't wait to interlock them together on top of his cloth suit. I think it's going to be really cool. And then we've got this alternate head, which looks really nice. Could be either Bruce Wayne or Ras al Ghul inside of there, whoever you want it to be. I do really wish that I could have had more than one of these so I could use them both as Ras al Ghul ninjas, but it is what it is. At least I have one, so I can use one for Ras al Ghul and one for one of his henchmen. Here they are holding their swords against each other with two hands. They can hold it with one hand or two hands. Posable enough to be able to hold them in many different fashions, which is pretty nice. Can easily also do, you know, the same sort of thing like this. Alright, now let's check out how he looks with his armor on. Like I said, it's hard plastic here. It's attached with some sort of softer pieces so it can be extended upright. Goes on top of him like so. Can just fit over his head. You don't have to take his head off to put it on. And it kind of fits around him. I notice his uniform kind of gets bunched up when going around it. Back part goes on top of the front part. Just clips into place really nicely when it's done. Here we go, his uniform kind of bunching up. Let's go ahead and finish this off screen and show you what it looks like. Here he is with his armor on. I must say he does look nice, just like I expected. I think it's pretty cool, mixture of hard plastic and soft goods. Now let's check him out with his ninja head on so we can see what a Ras al Ghul League of Shadows ninja would look like. Here he is with the head swapped out with the other mask. Looks really nice. You can kind of see some eyes in there. Not really specifically Ras al Ghul or Bruce Wayne. Could be either one. I do like that sort of feature. Really do like the way this guy looks. Think it looks really nice. Mezco nice. Maybe not quite, but pretty close. Now that we've taken a look at his accessories, we will now check out the figure's height. Then we'll look at their articulation, and then we'll take a bunch of comparison pictures with other action figures, specifically looking at the Mezco compared to the Soap Studios. So these guys look, let's say the top of his head is right where my finger is. We're looking at about 6.5 inches, maybe 6.4. Not too bad. Looks like they're going to scale up with Mezco pretty nicely. So articulation, I definitely decided to look at the articulation with the armor off. So first of all, he's got his head, goes around, no problem, looks down about yay far and up about yay far. His neck is no articulation here. Yes, it can move around, but it's one solid piece with the head. You can hear it pop back into place. So then we've got his shoulders and go out about this far, up, all the way around, no problem. Does feel, I can feel some definition and muscle inside of there, so that is a sculpted body inside. His elbows, double jointed. Can go all the way up top. He's got some articulation here, only moves just a little bit. His hands can move all the way around. Pretty much no up and down, maybe this little tiny bit. He has an ab crunch. His entire self can go up that far and down that far. With his head together, can look up that far and then down that far. Not too bad. He's got waist swivel, and it's like a ball joint down there, so it's almost like having two ab crunches. A lot of range of motion you can get with these guys. Pretty cool. Hips go out that far, can do the splits, kind of stressing on the cloth area a little bit down here. Legs go up that far. Now notice it's kind of pulling his shin armor up, and there's a real leg up in there, but then there's this sort of ugly looking thin peg piece here. Really not feeling that. Knees, double jointed, can go all the way back around. This is not really articulation, but this armor piece goes up and down. It can move around. Fits right over his foot. His foot can tilt quite a bit. Up, down, toe articulation. Nope. Yes, it is, but it seems to be stuck on this guy. There it goes. Pretty unnecessary toe articulation, but still kind of nice to have. Could be cool for some ninja poses. Now Bruce Wayne, pretty much going to be the exact same thing. Head goes down that far and up that far. Of course, it goes around. Shoulders go out more than 90 degrees, up and down. A little bit obstructed from his cloth here. Double jointed elbows. Tiny bit of movement here. Not really an articulation point, but I think this arm piece just moves around. He's got the same ab crunch, same swivel ball joint down here. Legs do splits, forward, pretty much 90 degrees, back, not at all. Double joint knees, same kind of stuff going on down here. Figures are very similar, just colored differently. Imagine it's the same base body under both these guys. And the outfit is definitely different on the guys, but the hard plastic pieces are almost exactly the same on both of them. Their feet, their shin guards, their hands, their gauntlets, the same sculpt, slightly different paint. Took out both the Bruce Wayne figures to put them in front of you and show you. His shirt has like frayed pieces on the edge, and I'm sure it's intentional. Really not liking the way it looks, just looks kind of sloppy and unprofessional. There's absolutely nothing like that going on with the ninja figures. They have pretty smooth cloth outfits. Both these guys are pretty similar as far as that goes. Just my own personal preference. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it is intentional, but I'm not really feeling it. Just a little loose strings sort of hanging off and stuff. And I just want to show you how kind of nice I think this head looks. I know we get it up close already. Looks pretty good. The Ras al Ghul head, not quite as much. Here is a Ras al Ghul head. Does remind me of Ras al Ghul. The Liam Neeson likeness, not the best. One thing I really don't like is the side. I got this really ugly thing that I feel like should have been colored as hair, but it's flesh colored. Again, it just looks just absolutely awful there. The way the sculpt is so straight edged and not blended with his head. I think that should have been painted as hair, and it, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be gray or something, but they use the flesh color and it just looks really bad. And mine is not just a one-off, the other one is exactly the same. It really just looks bad and kind of takes away from it. Besides that, it looks great, but ugh, just looks bad. Their heads are interchangeable, so you can easily do the Bruce Wayne in the ninja outfit, as well as the Ras al Ghul in the ninja outfit. And if you, for whatever reason, wanted to, you can have Ras al Ghul on the Bruce Wayne training outfit body, maybe thinking back to when he first trained to be in the League of Shadows. Next on the agenda, I want to compare them with some different action figure lines, mostly looking at Batman figures, because most people buying these are going to be Batman figure collectors. And I don't know about you guys, but the thing I'm most curious about is, do these scale up with Mezco? Do they blend in with Mezco? Are they nicer than Mezco? Pretty sure the answer is no, they're not nicer than Mezco, but they are pretty nice in their own regard. Very close to Mezco quality. Cannot wait to see what they're like versus them, so let's check it out. Here they are compared to a couple of the older Mezco releases. They seem to scale up pretty nicely. They're pretty much the same height, and I imagine that's part of their goal, is to be able to blend in with Mezco figures and piggyback off their success. Here they are compared to some more recent Mezco releases. We've got the Ascending Knight Batman, Justice League Tactical Armor Batman, the Soap Studios figures, Batman Beyond, and Catwoman. Once again, scaling up pretty nicely with these Mezco figures. Here they are compared to some Mafex Dark Knight Trilogy figures. They scale pretty nicely. The Soap Studio figures may be just a hair taller. Here they are compared to some Mafex Suicide Squad figures. These figures are slightly bigger than the Dark Knight figures. Deadshot in particular is almost 7-inch scaled, which I really do enjoy about him. Here they are compared to a bunch of figure arts, movie figures. Figure arts are definitely on the shorter side of things compared to the Soap Studios figures. Here they are compared to some Mattel Dark Knight Trilogy Movie Master figures. The Movie Master figures are on the smaller side, almost like the figure arts on the lower end of 6-inch scale. Definitely smaller than Soap Studios. Always curious why the Movie Masters were on a slightly smaller scale than DC Universe Classics, maybe the same company. Always frustrated the heck out of me when I was early collecting. The Soap Studios Bruce Wayne compared to his old 5-inch Mattel counterparts for when Batman Begins was out. Ras al Ghul with his 5-inch Mattel Batman Begins counterpart. And then we've got Ras al Ghul in his training gear with a couple different variations of his 5-inch counterparts. Here they are compared to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and DC Multiverse figures to see how they size up together. The Multiverse and Classics figures are definitely a little bit smaller than Soap Studios, but not by too much. Here they are next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures compared to the Soap Studios figures. It looks like the DC Collectibles stuff is a tiny bit larger than Soap Studios. Arkham Asylum Batman, Arkham Origins Batman, and the Capullo Batman from the comics over here. This old Pirates of the Caribbean figure always reminded me of the fake Ras al Ghul from the movie. And even though he's not actually a real movie figure, here's his 5-inch counterpart. Here are all the Ras al Ghul figures that I have. I don't believe I'm missing anybody. In the back here, DC Direct Hush. All these small ones up front are pretty much Mattel. These guys are all from Batman Begins. These two are from the animated series. Probably were Kenner back in the day. Anyway, DC Direct Hush, Mattel Movie Masters, DC Direct Arkham City, DC Collectibles Batman Animated Series, Soap Studios, Mattel, DC Universe Classics, Maddie Exclusive, old custom one that I made with a Clark Kent body and the Hush head, and he is actually still my favorite one of all of them. Here's my favorite Ras al Ghul, the custom mentioned earlier, with my favorite Talia, which is also a custom, and my favorite Ubu, which is also a custom for the League of Shadows. And if you want to take it one step further, these are not exactly customs, but figure substitutions. I use this guy for the Sensei, and I use her for Nissa al Ghul, Talia's sister. So this guy here, even though he is a Ras al Ghul figure, I'm going to be using him as a League of Shadows ninja in my collection. I'm very excited for the Mafex release, which comes out in like March. I'm going to get a few of those. If this guy was released by himself, I would have gotten more than just one of them, but I really don't need more of those Bruce Waynes. Anyway, speaking of League of Shadows ninjas and thugs, here are some of the other releases and figures I've used for them over the years. Back many years ago, when they were first making these Movie Master figures, there was really no option for a League of Shadows ninja, and I bought a bunch of these Survival Suit Bruce Wayne figures to use as League of Shadow ninjas. I know it's a poor substitute, but beggars can't be choosers back in the day. Like I said, I bought quite a few of those back in the day. There's a total of 6 of those Survival Suit Bruce Waynes, and then 4 kind of poorly attempts at customs for Ras al Ghul ninjas. They all hold a very special place in my heart, and I've kept them. They kind of stay in the corner of the Ras al Ghul base. At one point, I even used these DC Direct Nightfall Mask of Tengu Batman figures as League of Shadows ninjas. So next I decided to make some Batman the Animated Series League of Shadows ninjas, or Society of Shadows as they were called, ninjas, as well as Vertigo. Here are a couple of ninja man-bats from the Son of Batman action figure line and comic story. 2 isn't exactly an army, but that's all that I felt like I needed and all I've obtained over the years. If I ever found them for a really cheap deal, I might grab a couple more. The next League of Shadows member that I got was not a custom but a figure substitution. These are Crouching Tiger Hidden Dragon figures that as soon as I discovered I thought would be perfect for the Arkham City League of Shadows ninjas that were in the game. They were female, they seemed to work for Talia. The closest thing to a League of Shadows member they've ever made was, believe it or not in the Batman line, in the Arrow line. This figure on the left was actually a Malcolm Merlyn figure, but he's in the League of Shadows attire from that show. And they eventually made a Malcolm Merlyn figure with his mask off, and I purchased him as well. This works perfect for an army building League of Shadows members. In the show, they had tons and tons of members all dressed exactly the same. This guy was, I think, called the Dark Archer in the first season of Arrow, but then it became apparent that he was just a member of the League of Shadows, and there were tons of members that looked the same. Of course, you can probably imagine I went crazy when purchasing mine. And after the figures were released and I'd watched enough of Arrow to understand what this guy could mean to me, I ended up buying 5 of these guys. Absolutely love them. The articulation is pretty decent, even though it's hindered by some of the sculpt. They have double joint knees and whatnot. Love the fact that we got a League of Shadows ninja for real. And then a few waves later, they released a Malcolm Merlin figure with his mask off. I was pretty excited when that happened. I thought I could have a bunch of League of Shadows members with Malcolm Merlin leading them as a separate character. And so here you have it. I had Malcolm Merlin as a unique character and then 5 League of Shadows members under his command. It was really cool. Finally, these are all legitimate action figure releases from DC Collectibles to add to my Batman world from a non-Batman line. What are the odds? Of course, it didn't stop there. I decided since I had 5 League of Shadows members, I was going to get 5 more Malcolm Merlins and put some random heads on them. Wasn't really satisfied with that, so I decided to take the head from these guys, which was pretty cool underneath. It was kind of ninja-esque as it is, and swap them. So I put the unmasked heads under. I got 5 more of these guys, put the unmasked heads under there so they looked a little bit less obvious, and then I put these ninja heads on top of 5 more Malcolm Merlins that I bought. And then behold, here they are. 15 League of Shadows members with Malcolm Merlin leading them, a total of 16 of those figures customized and used in different fashions. Nice little League of Shadows army. Here's my Ras al Ghul base. This is where these new figures will be spending their time when they're off duty. We've got the doors here in the front. We've got the Masters of the Universe Castle Grayskull. We've got the Gargoyles Castle here. Back behind is where those Asian doorways there with some Chinese dragons behind them. Typically where I keep all my Ras al Ghul figure variants. And then behind here is the Lazarus pit. You can see it down there. Fill the thing with water as needed. My whole point of showing all that was that I absolutely love army building. I love that we're finally getting at least one figure from this set that can be used as a League of Shadows ninja. Unfortunately, there will be no army building as this price is absolutely outrageous and they're forcing you in a 2-pack. Background courtesy of Crouching Tiger Hidden Dragon figures. These came with the 4 female ninjas that were shown earlier in this video. Nice little Asian sort of entryways. And then behind those, background is courtesy of Mezco, older line, called Silent Screamers. The doorway in the middle, it's from a large deluxe figure called Gollum. And then the 2 castle doorways on the sides are both from Mezco Frankenstein figures. Keep it all in the family here with Mezco. Thought it worked good for the League of Shadows, sort of castle themed, Asian themed, Nolan-verse League of Shadows. So all in all, I must say these are very nice figures. But the real question is, are they worth the money? Are they better than Mezco? How do they hold up? I hate to say it, they're probably not worth the money. They're not quite as good as Mezco. They are very nice figures in their own. But boy, the prices that were being asked for these figures was almost offensive. 2-packs also forcing you to buy 2 of them at a time. And the special edition, my word, the price difference, it was unjustifiable for 2 measly little accessories. I felt like I got robbed and I was the one that allowed it to happen. If I go back in time, I still would have purchased these figures, but it left kind of bad taste in my mouth, the fact that you had to buy the 2-packs. Do not like it. But the figures themselves are very nice. If you take the cost out of the equation and judge the figures for what they are, they probably get a good 7.5, maybe an 8 rating. Well, Soap Studios, another 112 action figure line for DC Comics that uses these soft goods, trying to piggyback off the success that Mezco is having. Looking forward to seeing what they come out with next. Thank you guys for watching this video. This is D Hunter. If you liked it, press like below. If you want to see more videos from me, press subscribe. If you have any action figure review requests, post them below. Any comments about the video, how to make it better, or what you liked about it, or what you didn't like about it, please post them below. Thanks for watching. D Hunter signing out.